My earliest memories of the church are before my dad was even pastor. I believe Charlie Steckenrider was still the pastor, but I was 2 or 3 at the time. I still remember a lot of the old members. Stanton Jones, Karen Jones, she's been a member here I think my entire life. Deanna Johnston, Terry Fryer, I think he has been a member here or has at least been involved in youth group all of my 48 years. But he was involved in most of the near-death experiences or close calls that were youth group related.
I have some very faint memories of being in the old church, and I remember the basement the most, probably because that's where we ate. And then I remember when the old church burned, and again we probably would have been about 4. I remember driving by, I think it was still burning, and my mom was crying, and I just remember thinking this is a big deal.
And I can remember the church burning down. Really, when my memory really clicks in of the church, it's when we were building what's now the fellowship hall and what now is the blue room. A lot of things happened during that time. A lot of the guys we worked with were there. It was every Saturday, sometimes during the week. But Melvin Jones, I can remember him when we were building the blue room, bringing his golf clubs up and hitting golf balls off the roof of the church. They let me and Brian up there, and we're 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, so it was a big deal to be up there on the roof and doing some of that.
I remember when we started building that, and it was done by the church. It was just the men and women of the church that built on that wing. And I remember driving up one time and seeing 5 or 6 men on the rafters outside, probably not held on by anything, but I just remember thinking, oh, that is awesome.
My earliest memory of Whittington Church would be back at the old church before the fire and before the church burnt down. I was probably somewhere around 4 years old. Emily and I sang "This Is the Day" at an evening service, and Melvin Jones was leading that service.
I was saved in Bible school, and I think I was like maybe 6.5. But I feel like leading up to that, a lot of the Sunday school teachers and children's church directors and helpers made all of that happen too. So Donna Alfield, Ron and Peggy Sink, I think we had one time. They were very influential, and then Denise Fryer, Joyce Rath, Stephen Newcomb.
Donna Alfield was a teacher that we had for many years, and she was so good. Like, she always, planned parties for us, and I think we even spent the night at her house a few times. She probably regretted that, but was very impactful in our lives.
Denise Fryer and Joyce Rath started the junior youth at the time. We had youth group, but nothing for the 4th through 6th grade, and it just happened to be that was my age range when they had the idea, and church said, let's go for it. A few other ministries I can remember. One would be the clown ministry. I wasn't involved with it, but I remember, Ron Harper and his stickers, and, Dave Sneed and some of the different ones, Daryl, then Karen Jones. So just, and so thinking back to some of the people that I can remember from the earliest part of the church, Deanna Johnson, Bob Martin, the Jacksons family, my grandma and Bob and Christy, Sheila Page, Kevin Jones, Terry Fryer, Greg and Patty, Jack Denham,
Gary Bruce,
just on and on. The people, is kind of what you remember. Obviously, everything is centered around touching lives and winning hearts for Jesus, but the people is certainly what's probably had the most impact and the things that I remember the most about this church.
Our motto at Whittington is don't do life alone, and I truly could not imagine doing my life without our church family.